Oi Brasil, olha aqui de novo com mais uma entrevista maravilhosa para vocês e dessa vez o papo é sério. Estamos falando de uma ganhadora do Grammy, do Oscar. Ela é um sucesso mundial e tá lançando seu terceiro álbum de estúdio, Hit Me Hard and Soft. Eu tô falando de ninguém mais, ninguém menos que Billie Eilish. A gente bateu um papo, falamos sobre a relação dela com o Brasil, os títulos de algumas músicas do novo álbum, sinestesia. Dá uma olhada no meu papo com Billie Eilish.
Hi,
Hey
Hugo.
Billie, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm amazing talking to you. First of all, I have to say that I'm a huge fan. I'm super excited to talk with you. And I'm super excited about the album. I already pre-saved it. And I want to know, it's called Hit Me Hard and Soft. It's a very curious title. What's the story behind it?
Well, there's a lot of things that go into it. It was inspired by a synth name that we were using on a song called Bittersweet at the ending of that song. And I kept seeing this phrase over and over, and I didn't know what the hell it was, and I was just like constantly sitting in this chair editing my vocals, and I would see this phrase over and over, and I just was like, every time I saw it, it just like hit me in another way, in a different way. And I would think of it in this, like, I would think this thing of it, and then I would think this thing of it. And it just like, I never stopped thinking about this phrase that I saw. And then we were talking about album titles and the album and the way it feels. And I remember saying, like, what's that thing that says, like, hit me hard and soft? And that wasn't even what it was called, but that's what I kind
Oh,
of remembered. And I remember Phineas just being like, that sounds
uh-huh.
cool. And I was like, yeah, it does sound cool, but it also is the most interesting thing I've ever heard. And I just thought it was so, it's like the most perfect encapsulation, I feel like, of the album and of me as a person. I feel like there's a lot of ways that that sentence really describes me and feels like me and something I would say and feel. And, I kind of leave those up for interpretation, but I have a lot of things that are why that album title is important to me.
And your albums and your songs are very sensory. I heard that you think about the color blue when you think about it, hit me hard and soft. And I want to know, why is that?
I think there's a lot of just like blue themes in the album. And I knew early on, sorry, my dog is loud. I knew pretty early on that I wanted the album cover to be underwater in some way. And I don't know what did that. I don't know when I realized that, but that was always there. I mean, from pretty much as soon as we started making the album, I was like, I knew I wanted it to be underwater. And that was obviously going to be blue. And then I had this whole like blue idea, and we had these couple songs that had to do with blue, and a couple songs that have to do with water, and there's just
Mhm.
like a lot of blue going on. And my synesthesia is just absolutely through the roof all the time with everything. And with this album, when I sat down to write what all the colors were for each song, there's a lot of blues. And I guess that's it. I mean, a lot of the songs also have a lot of other colors, so it's not all blue, but there's a lot of blue themes going on.
And you already released a preview of Lunch. It's one of the most expected songs by the fans. The sound, by the way, is different, and I think it was perfect. I think it's gonna be a hit. How has this process been for putting into the song, doing the song? What is
Um,
it about it?
um, I don't know. I think that song, I think like we wrote the hook of that song in kind of the early fall of 2022. And at the time, that's all we had. And we kind of were like, ooh, there's something in this, but we don't really know where it's going to go. And also, like, we felt so confident about what we already had that, like, nothing was good enough yet. Like, we would try to work on it and we would just not come up with anything good. And that was so frustrating. So we kind of sat on it for a while and then got back to it. Um, And I also, you know, before we wrote it, I really didn't have a lot, as much to say as I thought I did. And then, you know, lived some life and had a lot to say. And, you know, that song, it reflects it. And I think, I don't know, I love that song too. I think it's just like fun, and it's like it's not, it's not too serious. Like we're just having fun.
Uh-huh.
And we're just like, I don't know. I think that humor is so important. And I think in music and in art, humor is so important. And Phineas was just saying the other day that like if you are able to have humor in everything and in art, then your vulnerability is like almost even more powerful, you know?
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I don't know. I think that's just a song we kind of knew was gonna have a good life, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Your last time in Brazil was at Lollapalooza, and did you know it was the day of the biggest audience in the history of the festival? And I want to know what's your relationship with Brazilian fans, and what is the best memory you have of Brazil?
My God, that's so cool. I mean, my relationship with Brazilian fans has been like, I just cherish it so much. You know, I think I've said so many times, but my first fan account was Billie Eilish Brazil, and I was like, couldn't believe it. I was like, no, no way. What do you mean Billie Eilish Brazil? You guys like me? You guys know who I am in Brazil? And yeah, it was just like, oh my God, I was waiting and waiting and waiting to go. And it took years and we never went. And I was like, guys, I want to go to Brazil. Oh my God, I've been waiting. It's been about time for so long. And I was supposed to go in 2020, and then COVID happened. And
Mhm.
anyway, I finally went last year in the spring of 23. And it was so special. And it was just like the coolest show ever. And the crowd was huge and it was amazing. And um, I was very surreal, you know. I'd been like dreaming of going there for so long, and I was there, and I'll be back at some point.
And we love having you here. Billy, thank you so much for your time. I really hope that you come back to Brazil really soon. And I hope you have a lot of success in this new album.
Thank you so much, Hugo. Have a good one.
You too, bye bye. Billie Eilish, muito simpática, gente. Eu tava todo me tremendo porque eu acho ela o máximo. Olha, se você tá vendo no YouTube, não esquece de assinar o canal, comentar, compartilhar e ativar o sininho. Se você tá vendo no Instagram, comenta e compartilha, envia pros coleguinhas, envia pra todo mundo, porque a gente tá falando de ninguém mais, ninguém menos que Billie Eilish. Fiquei muito feliz com essa entrevista, espero que vocês também. Um beijo, até a próxima! Vamos ouvir Hit Me Hard and Soft. Oh!